What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing, party people? We are here coming into you live on another Friday. Friday's always the best day of the week because Saturday and Sunday are next. Tell me, what are you guys up to this weekend? I want to know. There's always an opportunity to have a lot of fun on the weekend. Hopefully you can turn off your computer and just go do fun things outside. So go to the chat box and tell me where you're coming in from. And then secondarily, what plans do you have for the weekend? For us this weekend, we got CrossFit Saturday morning, which is always a fun experience because it's a partner class, it's a partner workout, and it's an opportunity to just like be social and have a really hard workout first thing in the morning on Saturday. And then after that, it's just all playtime because Indigo is now almost 2 years old and she is just adorable, absolutely adorable. And she just wants to play all day long. So we usually hop from one park to another, to a splash pad, to a fountain, to a playground. And it's just like, by the time the day's over, she's just like, she's so tired, but she loves it all. And it's fun to do that. So that's what we got planned. You tell me, what do you guys got planned? Daniel coming in from Detroit. I love it. I love it. Village Steader says, hello, sick, no weekend fun in Western New York. Oh, let's get outside, get some sun. Hello from Alaska from Gwen. Daniel says lawn work. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Want to do mine too. Tara says, good morning from Spearfish, South Dakota. This weekend I will be going to a fellowship and also visiting a new fruit stand in our area. Ooh, that sounds like fun. I dig it. Julie, Central Indiana. What's up, Julie? What's up? What's up? What's up? Leslie coming in from Miami. Yeah, other side of the state. What's up, Leslie? Tammy coming in from Minnesota. What's up? Good to see you here. And then Paula's always here. Paula, you are probably the most regular of all regulars. She's also in West Palm Beach, Florida. I plan to go out walking with a friend. I am type 1. Boom. Join the club. I love it. Tony coming in from Tampa. I'm your neighbor, Tony. I'm in St. Pete. Looks like there's a lot of Floridians here. This is great. This is awesome. All right. So what I want to talk about today, or what I had planned to talk about today, is weight loss drugs, in particular, 2 weight loss drugs. One of them is called Wegovy and the other one's called Ozempic. Okay. They're both effectively, founded upon the same type of formula, the same type of pharmaceutical concoction. And they are very powerful drugs that were originally designed for people living with type 2 diabetes. But researchers and doctors found out that they're actually very powerful weight loss drugs. And so now, as a result of that, there's a lot of people who don't even have any form of diabetes who are now using these drugs as a way to lose weight, and lose weight very rapidly. So, well, in some of the previous conversations that I've had on, webinars and Facebook Lives and beyond, I've asked people, are you taking Ozempic? Have you taken Ozempic in the past? Have you taken Wegovy? And I just got, I got a landslide of people who were like, yes, I'm taking it now. I used to take it. I hate it. I don't like it. I got nauseous. And I was like, whoa, totally overwhelmed with how many people who had experience with either one of those 2 drugs. So here's what I want to know from you guys. Do you have any experience, personal experience, with either Ozempic or Wegovy? Okay. If the answer is yes, then just write the word yes in the chat box. If the answer is no, you can write no too. And then in addition to that, also please comment if weight loss is something that you even care about in the first place. Because I don't want to be talking about weight loss if you guys are not interested in weight loss. I just think it's a very powerful and an impressive subject. So we can talk about it. Okay. Maribel says no. Daniel says, doctor prescribed Farxiga, but can't afford. Okay. Village Steader, doctor gave me a hard no to Ozempic. Okay. You should have thanked him. Carolyn, yes. Susanna, yes. Side effects from Ozempic. All right. We'll talk about those. Anne says no. Okay. Tony says no. Jenna says no. Ruth says yes. Side effects from Ozempic. Okay. Bonnie, want to lose weight. All right. Camille says taking, what does that say? Trizepeptide. I have PCOS, and this is the first thing that has ever helped me. Very minimal side effects. Okay. Julie, no, I'm interested in weight loss. I have prediabetes and high cholesterol. Carolyn, yes, still need to lose more. Diana, no. All right. Tammy, husband just started Ozempic and not doing well. All right. Charlotte, yes. Paula, yes, I am into weight loss. Teresa, no. Doctor wanted, but I said no. Terry, my doctor prescribed me Ozempic, but my insurance company won't pay for it. Okay. So I'm seeing kind of like mixed 50-50, maybe a little bit more leaning towards yes and a little bit less leaning towards no. But Daniel, as far as ego apply to this presentation, the answer is not really, not in this particular conversation, but we could maybe touch on that at some point. But the overall message here is that, it sounds like you guys want to talk about this and want to learn about this, which is impressive. Okay. So let's go back at the very, very top and try and figure out what the heck is Ozempic in the first place. Okay. Ozempic and Wegovy are basically two brand names of drugs that are used as, again, they were specifically designed to be type 2 diabetes drugs that were designed to reduce your blood glucose. But in addition to reducing your blood glucose, they also help stimulate a significant amount of weight loss. Okay. You can think of weight loss as being sort of a side effect of the way that these drugs work. And now that side effect has become more important than the actual, than reducing blood glucose in the first place. So that's why primarily now these are considered weight loss drugs. Okay. The way that these drugs work is very important. That's kind of what I want to focus the entire conversation on today, is that the mechanism by which these drugs work is actually fascinating, but the mechanism can actually be replicated using food instead. And that's why this is an important message. Okay. So when you take Ozempic or when you take Wegovy, what ends up happening is that they primarily function on two different systems within your body. The first one is your brain. Okay. Now your brain has many different regions inside of it. And these regions are, specific collections of neurons that have different functions. One set of neurons could be specific to speech. Another one could be about spatial recognition. Another one could be about short-term memory. Another one could be about long-term memory. Okay. So each one of these regions has a very specific function, and damage to any one of these regions can cause widespread problems in your life. There's a region in your brain known as your hypothalamus, okay? HYPO thalamus. And your hypothalamus is a region of your brain which communicates directly with many endocrine tissues inside of your body. And your hypothalamus is responsible for regulating many different aspects of your basal metabolic function. And that includes temperature sensitivity, appetite control, energy levels, desire to exercise. And so the pituitary gland is directly downstream of the hypothalamus, and the two of them are talking to each other all day long. And the two of those glands effectively communicate a bunch of messages to the rest of your body. So needless to say, you want both your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland to be functioning in tip-top shape all day long, every single day. When you take Ozempic or when you take Wegovy, what ends up happening is that the active compound inside of that, called semaglutide, basically travels up into your brain, and it goes directly to your hypothalamus, and it tells your hypothalamus to reduce its desire for food. So it effectively inhibits your hypothalamus's what's known as its appestat. Appestat is just a term given to the thing that regulates your appetite. So it basically tells your appestat to slow down. And as a result of that, you just are not as excited about food. That means that when you see food, you're just like, I'm not really that hungry. When you smell food, I'm not really that interested in it, right? And that's actually really powerful, because if you can basically get your brain to not really care about food as much, then that's a good thing, because that means that when you see food, you're just like that much less likely to go and try and put it into your mouth. Okay. So number one, it suppresses the function of your hypothalamus. Number two, it does something even more fascinating. The compounds inside of these medications are what is known as GLP-1 receptor agonists. Don't remember this, okay? GLP-1 receptor agonist means basically it goes and talks to GLP-1 receptors. There are GLP-1 receptors inside of your hypothalamus, which is what I was just explaining. And then in addition to that, there's also GLP-1 receptors inside of your digestive system. Now, the GLP-1 receptors inside of your digestive system are responding to a whole collection of signals all day long, every day. They want to know, is there food inside of me? Yes or no? Is it solid food? Is it liquid food? Is there a lot of food? Is there a little bit of food? Is it nutrient dense food? Is it nutrient poor food? Is it refined food? Is it whole food? Okay. So these receptors are constantly trying to figure out what is inside of it all day long, every single day. And then they send those signals up to your brain, and then they help your brain understand whether or not you want more food or less food, or maybe you should pause temporarily and then go and eat some more food down the road. So these GLP-1 receptors that are inside of your digestive system are directly in contact with these things called stretch receptors. And this is fascinating, right? So the stretch receptors are receptors that are built in to the walls of your small intestine and your large intestine. And when you eat food, what ends up happening is that the actual small intestine, the diameter of your small intestine gets just a little bit bigger to be able to accommodate that food material. Okay. So under normal circumstances, it might be about this big. And then you put food inside of it, and all of a sudden it might stretch to being like 20 or 30% larger because there's now something inside of it. Okay. So that's normal physiology, and that's totally fine. These stretch receptors that are built into the walls of your small intestine and large intestine, as soon as they see that, they feel that distension, they go boom, and they send a signal directly up to your brain, directly to your hypothalamus. And they say, hey, there's something inside of me. Slow down. And your brain goes, cool, sweet, got the message. Thank you very much. And then it reduces your appetite. And that's something that you experience all day, every single day. Because when you eat food, you actually start to get full mechanically. And then it sends the neurological impulse up to your brain to slow down your appetite. And that's a good thing. Okay. So the two of them are working in combination with one another. What Ozempic and Wegovy do is not only to talk to your hypothalamus to tell it to relax, but they also directly talk to the stretch receptors, and they trick the stretch receptors into believing that there is already something inside of your digestive tract when there really is nothing there. Okay. This is really important. Again, these drugs talk to the GLP-1 receptors inside of your small intestine and large intestine, and they trick the stretch receptors into believing that there's something inside of it when there actually is nothing there. So your intestine is also reinforcing that signal and sending a message up to your brain that says, hey, there's something inside of me. And your brain is like, cool, sweet. And then it represses its appetite even more. So now your brain is basically under control of two things. Number one, it's not as hungry because your hypothalamus is getting directly communicated with. And now number two, your hypothalamus is not as hungry because it's getting indirectly communicated with via your digestive system. Okay. So this is really important because now your hypothalamus is basically being like, well, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry at all. And because of that, I'm going to reduce my desire to eat food. And then you as the user are like, yeah, I'm not really that hungry. I don't want to eat food. Well, what happens to you if you don't eat food for an extended period of time? Well, you end up becoming what's known as catabolic. Catabolic refers to the fact that when there's no external energy source, that means that you have to basically catabolize or oxidize or burn, if you will, the internal fuel stores. And so those internal fuel stores are inside of your fat tissue, they're inside of your liver tissue, they're inside of your muscle tissue. And these are all accumulated sort of fatty acids that have accumulated over the course of time, glucose that has accumulated over the course of time, and you end up getting rid of that stuff, which translates to weight loss. Okay. So what Ozempic and Wegovy do is they reduce your appetite so much that your desire to eat food goes down by so much that there's a large energy gap, a large calorie difference between how much energy you're burning and how much energy you're taking in. So you can go negative by, reducing your calorie intake by something like 800 calories a day, 1,000 calories a day. And before you know it, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this weight is just coming off of me. It's just everywhere. Every morning you wake up and you're another, half a pound less. And in a given week, you could be losing 3 pounds, 4 pounds. And before you know it, over the course of a year-long period, you can lose upwards of 15% of your body weight, which is a big, big deal. Okay. So you might be thinking to yourself, you're like, all right, well, that sounds good. Like, why would I care about that? And the answer is the reason you could care about that is because there's a lot of side effects that come along with it. Number one, the side effects are real. Okay. And I'm just going to look them up because I have them written in this document. So let me just pull them up for you here. Okay. The side effects include mainly gastrointestinal issues, including constipation, diarrhea, nausea, which is what most people report back, vomiting, and abdominal pain. And these are real because, again, you're not that hungry. You're not really eating that much food, but your digestive system is in a state of distress, and it's communicating to you that it is not happy. Okay. So as a result of that, there's a lot of people who take these medications, they lose weight, but they just feel ill all the time. And they're like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. This is horrendous. I've even talked to some people who will take a pill on Wednesday or they'll take an injection on Wednesday. And then on Thursday for the next 24 hours, they're literally vomiting for 24 hours before they start to feel normal again. And then they're still not as hungry. And then the next 6 days are just kind of like, not that exciting. Okay. So if you don't mind those side effects, then cool. Maybe this is a good option for you. But the reason why this is an important conversation is because the two things that just occurred as a result of taking Ozempic and Wegovy actually occur when you eat whole food. Okay. Here's how it works. If you decided that you wanted to eat a whole food plant-based diet instead, which is obviously something that we are huge proponents of, and you start to eat more fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains, well, then guess what's going to happen? Okay. You're going to be eating food that has a lot of bulk, AKA fiber and water in it. And that means that the food has a lot of volume. When you eat that food, it travels down your esophagus, gets inside of your stomach and into your small intestine, and it causes your intestine to do this. Okay. It causes your intestine to distend, and it causes your intestine to distend significantly more than it would if you were eating refined foods that have a smaller volume. And as a result of that, those stretch receptors get activated, send a signal up to your hypothalamus and say, hey, there's stuff inside of me. Could you reduce your appetite? So whole foods are actually the single most powerful way to activate this GLP-1 receptor mechanism. And by doing that, it actually tells your digestive system to talk to your brain, to tell your brain to slow down its appetite. So if you're constantly eating whole foods, then the whole foods tell your digestive system to tell your hypothalamus to chill out. And the combination of the two of those keeps you feeling full. That's a good thing. And then secondarily, because whole foods don't contain very many calories, you end up naturally going into a calorie deficit most of the time, and you lose weight in a completely normal method. Okay. When you eat whole foods, the number of side effects that come along for the ride is effectively zero. You might feel a little bit hungry to begin with, and then you have to figure out exactly how much to eat, but that's a temporary side effect that can go away very quickly once you learn the mechanics of eating a whole food plant-based diet. Okay. So I'm going to stop talking now because I just said a lot of stuff, but let's see. Hortensia says, is the message to not use Ozempic solely for weight loss, but it is okay if it's to treat type 2 diabetes? So Hortensia, the answer is no, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that there are side effects of using Ozempic and Wegovy, whether or not you're using it for weight loss or type 2 diabetes. And those side effects are mainly gastrointestinal side effects. But what I'm saying is that if I were in your position, rather than looking at a medication to try and solve my issues, I would look at food first. And I would look at food first because it is a more powerful and more long-term solution rather than taking a medication, which number one, costs a lot of money. Number two, only works when you use it. Okay. And so what that means is that if you're using Ozempic or you're using Wegovy, chances are you're probably going to be using that drug for about 6 months, maybe a year, and then you're going to get off of it because your doctor's going to say, all right, cool, sweet, you lost weight, see you later. Or your glucose is lower, all right, you can stop using it. But at that point, as soon as you stop using it, well, guess what happens? All your problems come right back to the surface. Okay. You'll start to gain weight and your blood glucose will start to rise again because you didn't fix the root cause of the problem. So what I'm suggesting is use food to fix the problem. Don't rely on pharmaceutical medication. Okay. Now, I'm also not your doctor, so I can't tell you exactly what to do, but I'm telling you that's my mindset would be. And I would always be asking for a food first approach rather than a medication first approach. Okay. Chris brought up a good question. Can you show this on the screen? There we go. It says, I bought your weekly meal plan, but I'm having trouble with lots of gas. I had to back off. Okay, Chris, I'm really glad you asked that question or gave this comment. It is very common for people who start eating a plant-based diet to get a lot of gas and or bloating, okay? And the reason for that is because your microbiome inside of your large intestine needs time to adjust to eating more fiber. If you went from eating a diet that contained a significant amount of animal foods to a diet that contains a significant amount of fiber, it will trigger gastrointestinal problems immediately. That happened to me for 3 months when I first started eating a plant-based diet. This was in the year 2002, and I had no information. I just had to recognize that I had to slow my intake of plant-based foods and then accelerate it over the course of time. So if you are feeling that you have a lot of gas right now, my suggestion to you would be back off on the amount of fiber-rich foods you're currently eating and drip feed them into your diet over the course of about a 3-month period. That's what I would do. Okay. Don't go all in right off the bat because it's going to make your digestive system feel terrible. You want to do it slowly, and it's going to make a big difference. Okay. 2 things for you guys before we peace out. We have another Facebook Live that's happening in, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. And it's on a different page. It's on the Umla Green page. So go to facebook.com/UmlaGreenHealth, which you can see at the bottom of your screen right there. Okay. Or you can just go to Facebook and type in the word Umla Green, AMLA Green, and then you'll be able to see it. We're going to be talking about more really interesting stuff there related to a whole food plant-based diet. So come join us there. But for those of you who also are interested in learning a little bit more about how to do this weight loss thing without pharmaceutical medication, on your screen, you see that there's an ebook that we have put together for you guys, which is called 4 Tips to Finally Lose Weight and Stop Yo-Yo Dieting for Good. I don't know about you guys, but I'm done with yo-yo dieting. Okay. I hate the concept of yo-yo dieting. And I talk to so many people who are like, yeah, I lose weight, then I gain it back. Then I lose weight, then I gain it back. Then I lose weight and I gain it back. And it strips you of your confidence and your desire to want to do anything positive in the future. Okay. So if you want this guide, which we'll send to you for free, just write the word yo-yo in the comment box right here. Okay. Write yo-yo, 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 and we'll send it over to you. Okay. If you're on YouTube, then you're just going to have to come over to Facebook and then type in yo-yo send us a direct message or a DM with the words yo-yo, and then we can send it over to you. Okay. This guide is designed to give you the tools to understand what is bulk, what is fiber, what is water, and why is it so powerful. Literally, one of the most powerful components of whole foods is the fiber that comes inside of it. And when you truly understand how powerful fiber is, it literally is this gateway that unlocks so many different aspects of your health that you didn't think were controlled by your fiber intake. Your fiber intake controls your appetite. It controls your digestive processes. It controls the health of your microbiome, which in turn controls the health of your liver, your kidney, your pancreas, your brain, your thyroid gland, your muscle tissue, your cardiovascular system, and beyond. Fiber is so incredibly powerful for you. And once you really understand it, it's a complete game changer. So write yo-yos in the comments, and we'll get that guide over to you guys. In the meantime, head over to Umla Green Health, facebook.com/Umla Green Health, and we'll see you there. Thanks for joining. I had a great time. We'll talk to you soon.